Hey everybody, I need some feedback immediately. I just want to know if you can hear me. I've been having a bit of issues with my audio, but I didn't want to keep you guys waiting any longer. And so, yeah, if you're anyone that's live here, if you can just give me a little message there to say, yes, I can hear you, or no, I can't. Let's see if I can get some better lighting here. This is really on the fly. This is, I swear, I'm super prepared. However, I really want to make sure that I stay on time and we get right into the show. This week, actually, what we're diving into, we're going to continue on our theme of sleep and how to get the best sleep possible. And what's really interesting, actually, is that this whole month, we're running a challenge in the office. It's all about removing technology from your pre-bed routine. So 1 hour before bed, we want to be taking technology out of our lives as best as you can. In fact, I would say 100%. Just unplug 1 hour before bed. And it's really generated a bunch of really great conversations. And one observation I certainly have noticed myself is that, man, it's hard. It's really hard to turn the phone off or to put the iPad down, and or even switch the TV off for some people, or close the laptop. And it's really kind of surprising to me how challenging it is, and really like how much those habits have really become hardwired for me, to be on a piece of technology right up until I go to bed. And that has a huge detrimental effect on your ability to fall asleep and also to get good quality sleep, even if you're able to fall asleep. And that comes down, if you go back to last week, I went into kind of more depth as to why that's the case. So you can just scroll back and find the video from last week if you're interested in that topic. This week I wanted to touch on I think probably the most destructive habit that I see a lot of people have in place, and certainly it's one that I continue to struggle with. A big theme of this show is I'm really going through things that I personally struggle with, and this habit is, I think, something that gets really underplayed. So we don't talk about it as a culture. It's people just accept that this is actually, probably believe that it's completely healthy to operate within this habit. And what I'm talking about is not having a consistent sleep and wake cycle. So not being able to, not going to bed at the same or similar time and waking up at the same or similar time. The typical habit, right, is, most people, they have a wake up routine that they've got going on throughout the week. And then once the weekend hits, the habit shifts entirely. Perhaps if there's kids in the house, this doesn't happen. But for anyone who's really, following kind of a more typical lifestyle, there is a propensity to wake up and go to bed at different times throughout the week, and then on the weekends, 2 to 3 nights, we're going to bed much later. We're sleeping in, and that probably seems like, you may think, well, if I get 8 hours, it doesn't matter, right? If I go to bed at, normally I go to bed at 11, I get up at 7 throughout the week. As long as I get that same 8 hours on the weekend, I'm golden. And unfortunately, that just isn't the case. I get it. It seems logical. You're getting similar amount of time, but the quality of sleep that you're getting is significantly reduced. And actually what happens is that changing your pattern from weekend to weekday, it really throws off a whole bunch of different hormones in your body. And that's because sleep is actually a hormonally controlled process. Kind of think about it as just, I know I used to just think of sleep as like, well, it's like I fall asleep when I'm tired, my brain shuts off, and then when I wake up, my brain turns on again. Actually, the whole process is controlled entirely by the presence or absence of different hormones. There's 2 key ones. Cortisol is the wake-up hormone. That's the one that keeps us up throughout the day. And then melatonin would be the primary, like a sleeping hormone. And they are, in a sense, yin-yang when it comes to sleeping. Now, there's a super complex process, so I'm kind of simplifying it, but you can consider it that, in the presence of cortisol, you're going to be awake, and anything that drives cortisol in your body is going to keep you awake. And then as melatonin goes up, you're going to be able to fall asleep. That at least allows your brain to go into a sleeping state. So what's Thank you, whoever commented here. I can see that they can hear me, so that's good. That's really important to know. So when it comes to falling asleep, the our ability to fall asleep, because it is really dictated by the presence of melatonin, we actually the hormonal shift is really, you can think about it like it's a pattern in the body that gets hardwired. And so if we're constantly messing around with the inputs, right, the stimulus that dictates when those hormones go up or down, then our body can get all out of whack. So the main effect here is when we force ourselves to stay awake. So let's say it's a Friday night, and I have a cup of coffee at 6 o'clock because I want to stay up a bit later, and then maybe I'm surrounding myself with lots of stimulation. I'm going out with friends. I'm at a loud bar, whatever the context is. It's there's lots of stimulation that's keeping me awake. That's actually keeping cortisol high. Okay, and there's other stimulants that can do that. That's going to shut down melatonin, which is then going to not allow my brain to go into that sleeping state. A good thing, obviously. That's what I'm seeking when I'm out having a good time. But what that teaches my body is that, oh, okay, we're actually trying to stay awake. So maybe I should limit the production of melatonin at the same time tomorrow night. Okay, maybe this is something that we're trying to teach the body. So internally, it gets majorly disrupted. So even if you have 5 nights a week that you're going to bed at a good time, when you stay up later on the weekends, that's actually totally disrupts that process. And I'm not sure if you guys, most people, you hear a lot of people talk about this, is that Sunday night rolls around and it's really hard to fall asleep. Monday morning comes and it's really hard to wake up. Well, it's because those two hormones predominantly are being affected. So how do you fix that? Well, the easiest way is to have a consistent cycle, sleep-wake cycle, all the time. So I know I can hear the groans and the arguments that come out, like, oh, I live for the weekend, and I want to be able to get up, I want to be able to go out, stay up late, and go out. Really, you have to choose what do you value, and so for me personally, because health is a high value, performance and productive achievement in my career is really important. So that's the priority. So what do I need to do to make that maybe be as successful as I can at that? Well, I need to get good quality sleep. How do I do that? I need to have what the research shows is that I need to have a consistent sleep and wake cycle. And the best thing to do is to really look at your schedule and figure out, okay, what is the most appropriate, if I want to get 8 hours of sleep, work backward. I need to wake up at this time. So let's say I need to wake up at 6 a.m. So that means I need to be asleep by 10 p.m. Therefore, I need to be in bed by 9:30. And so you kind of work backward so that you can plan to have a good sleep. Okay, and that's really what it comes down to, is having a plan, and then, of course, sticking to the plan as the last step. So I thought I'd just share that with you, something that I've started to put into place over the last 6 months. And when I've been consistent at it, my sleep quality has gone way up. And I've noticed more on the other end is that when I'm not doing a good job at this habit, my sleep quality goes way down, and I feel it. I just have the energy drops, concentration, productivity goes down. And so it has a real direct effect on really the quality of my life. So I thought I'd share that with you. The key points: really have a consistent sleep-wake cycle. Do that as much as you can. Those of you with kids, I understand there's kind of pros and cons. Kids often have a very consistent sleep-wake cycle, so as they get a bit older, so you can just follow their pattern. Obviously, infants are a little bit harder to work around. And do that as consistently as possible. So really, 7 days a week, that's ultimately what you want to aim for. And you will notice a huge difference, particularly those of you who do struggle with getting quality sleep. So I've given you there's a link in the description above. Actually, that's a blog that goes through, I think, some really valuable information there. And if you can scroll to the bottom of that, you'll see that there's a button you can click. You can download a copy of your own of our most recent sleep kit, which is called Reboot Your Sleep. And in there, there's some great information, some more action steps so that you can actually really maximize your sleep and make sure that you're gaining the most that you can from the the nighttime hours. All right, I am clearly a little bit tired, so I'm going to sign off here. Love to hear your comments. Otherwise, if this is valuable information, if you'd like to learn anything else about sleep, this whole month I'm going to be talking about different aspects of sleep. Next week, I'm going to get into actually I think the best kept secret when it comes to weight loss. And a little teaser for those of you who's made it to the end. Sleep is absolutely a key factor if weight loss is your goal. You really need to get good quality sleep. I'm going to go through the mechanism next week, and then how you can actually take advantage of the benefits of sleep as it relates to weight loss. So we'll get onto that next week. Thanks again for tuning in, and have a great weekend.